survive if I let you.
What's good, everybody? This your boy Blackout Jones. You know where you at, just shooting the sports. And man, yesterday was a wonderful day. Yesterday ended up being one of the biggest days so far in the transfer portal for the University of Tennessee. As I stated yesterday, and everybody knows, we ended up getting DeJuan Lane and also Chaz Coleman, two Penn State standouts. And also, late last night, we ended up getting a third commitment from Gavin Freeman, who is from Oklahoma State. And we'll get into that. But before I get into any of that, man, let me tell you something. Y'all were hot yesterday. My subscribers, my new subscribers, everybody that tuned in here yesterday for my two videos, man, y'all showed up and y'all showed out. I ended up getting, 45 new subscribers. My last video in regards to Chaz Coleman and DeJuan Lane ended up reaching 2.9 and still going. The one I did before in regards to, news in regards to Sam Levitt and at the time, Chaz Coleman and of course, Xavier Gilliam and all, and that whole situation there, ended up doing 1.4 and still counting as well. But I just want to give thanks to everyone that showed up and showed out yesterday. It truly means a lot to me. You know what I mean? I don't, like I stated before, man, I love what I'm doing. I've been doing this since January 24th of last year. And, this is something that I've always wanted to do. Sometimes you get motivations from different places, which I did. And it motivated me to do this. Why? Because what do I always do? What I've been doing for years. I talk about sports, whether it's my family, whether it's my friends, or whether it's just complete strangers. But you know what they say, you never meet a stranger, and I was like, well, hell, why don't I just go ahead and do that myself? And what made me want to get into this was, I was dealing with some stuff back in 2023, mentally, my mental health wasn't that great at that point. And, I was just trying to find an outlet, you know what I mean? And this was my outlet. And, I had a help from, other podcasters that I listened to that motivated me as well. And, I want to give thanks to those people. They know who they are. But this has been a journey. It's been a great journey. Has it had its difficult times? Yes. It's not easy. You know what I mean? But once it gets rolling, once it gets cooking, man, you got to love it. And regardless, even if it ain't cooking on some days, it doesn't matter. It's the love that I have for doing what I'm doing right now. And that's talking about sports, especially Tennessee football. And I'll probably be diving in basketball here soon because I definitely got a lot to talk about that as well. And even when I started this channel, I was talking about Tennessee baseball at one point. But man, once again, I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for everything. Man, continue the support. I have some things cooking in the background. Well, actually, it's already been cooked, but reason why I haven't put it out yet, because I haven't reached that 4,000, threshold, or really 3,000 threshold of subscribers, and that 1,000, the 3,000 public watch hours, and then the 1,000 subscribers. But that's okay, because I can still do I've already surpassed the 500, but I got something cooking already cooked in the background, and I'll definitely get that out to you. And I hope y'all enjoy it. But in the meantime, like I stated before, thank you for the support. Thank you for the continued support. And man, let's continue to roll. So let's go ahead and get into it. So yesterday we ended up getting DeJuan Lane and Chaz Coleman. Well, DeJuan Lane basically is doing the same thing that Xavier Gilliam did, and that was what? Once he committed, what did he do? He started recruiting his peers, and that's what DeJuan Lane stated that he was going to do. So he's already recruiting the likes of defensive lineman Ine White and Penn State transfer running back Tyke Hayes. In regards to Anai White, he's a former top 40 overall recruit who began his career at Texas A&M and he has 14 career tackles. And then, of course, Penn State running back Tiki Hayes. He didn't really see much time last year, or if any at all. But we're still trying to get a running back in the room on the offensive side of things. But if we can get a non-white in here, it seems like he's a pretty good get. It seems like like I stated before, he's a Jim Knowles guy. He's playing under Jim Knowles last year, so he knows that system just as well as the rest of the guys that have came in here. Hey, yesterday, and I want to give a shout out to, oh my goodness, where is he at? I got to give a shout out to this guy. Let me go into my comments. Where are you, sir? I got to give him, yes. No, not him. Yeah, not him. Where is he? God, where is he? Did I get those many comments? I know he's here somewhere. Anyway, there was a guy. I remember my last video I had, diamonds are forever and so are the Four Horsemen. And I pretty much called them the Four Horsemen. Well, this gentleman, hey, he called them the Happy Valley Four. I said, man, how fitting. How fitting. So I wish I could find his name and give him a shout out. But I cannot find it. But I got to find it because I got to give him a shout out because he owns that one for sure. Yes, sir. Ben Sherman 6533. Man, thank you for that. That was a good one, man. Hey, that was on point for real. The Happy Valley 4. But anyway, let's go ahead and get to Gavin Freeman, 5'8", 185, wide receiver out of Oklahoma State. He committed to the Vols yesterday. His 2025 stats were 53 receptions for 481 yards, 4 touchdowns, and he averaged 9.1 per catch. Now, he has 1 year of eligibility, but he has pretty much been recruited as a punt returner, kick returner, not necessarily a slot receiver. Our slot receiver is Braylon Staley, and he's been doing it. And of course, he did a wonderful job this past year. But I love the get. We definitely need a legit punt returner, kick returner. I know that, it could have been Boo Carter, but we already know how that went. And we don't need, our Braylon Staley's back there or our DeJuan Morris's back there, trying to do punt returns and kick returns. Now, I never liked that anyway. So I'm glad that they brought this guy in to be just that. And he's a speedy guy. Hey, he's very shifty and he's real fast and he gets it done. Now, excuse me, in regards to the Tennessee Port of Visitors, Sayane Lalia from Oregon, 6'4", 196 pounds. He was visiting UT today. His 2025 stats were 7 tackles, 4 solos, 2 pass deflections. His career stats is 10 tackles and 1 interception, and he has 2 years of eligibility. I ain't got really much to say to him. I looked at the highlights, and I'll tell you one thing that I liked about him that made my heart smile, and that was he keeps his head on a swivel. We don't see that a lot from these young DBs. He keeps his head on a swivel. As soon as he sees that wide receiver turn his head, guess what he's doing? He's turning his head too, and what happens? What is the result? He gets an interception. A lot of these guys, if you just turn your head around, shit, you'll be an All-American with probably about 10 interceptions, maybe breaking single-season records and a career record as well. But you don't do it, so don't worry about that. But anyway, next to the next guy. Dalen Evans, 6'5", 310 pounds, defensive lineman out of Texas A&M. He's visiting UT today. His 2025 stats is 8 tackles. That was his career stats as well. Why? Because he was a true freshman, and he has 3 years of eligibility left. And then next on the list is TJ Metcalf, 6'1", 200 pounds, DB out of Michigan. He's visiting UT. Actually, he visited UT yesterday. His 2025 stats were 58 tackles, 37 solo, 1 fumble recovery, and 1 interception. His career stats, 129 tackles, 11 pass deflections, 1 forced fumble, 2 forced fumble recoveries, and 4 interceptions. He has 1 year of eligibility. He spent his first 2 years in college with the University of Arkansas, and then he transferred, played for the University of Michigan last year, and now he's in the portal again, and he took his visit with Tennessee yesterday. Possibly he could become our next commitment, which will be great. We need as many DBs as we can get because we are very thin in that secondary. So We got the defensive line, the edge rushers. We still need. I feel like we still need a couple more there. In regards to the secondary, I'm loving the gets that they're getting in regards to the secondary. I know they had another visit yesterday from I forgot the guy. He was from Georgia. He ended up committing to Ole Miss, and so it is what it is. Now the QB situation, of course, is still up in the air. Haven't really heard much about it in regards to Sam Levitt, in regards to Bo Pribula, and then in regards to Joey Aguilar. It seems to me that's not going to be great news. He may not even get his eligibility to play another year, if it even gets to that point. But it seems to me, I don't know if Tennessee if that's what they're waiting on. It doesn't seem that they're waiting on that. It's just one of those, whatever happens, happens. But whatever it is and whoever comes, we just got to be behind them and hope for the best. Now, we talked about Joey Aguilar last year when he came in. What was we worried about the most? The interceptions. And of course, yeah, towards the end, he was having some issues, in regards to interceptions. But let's be honest here. He showed up and he showed out, and he made that offense better than what it was for the last 2 years. So I always believe in Josh Heupel, Joey Housley in regards to developing quarterbacks. We still had G-Mac there. If it does come to G-Mac being the guy, so be it. Let's roll with it. But as I stated yesterday, we got to have at least 3 scholarship quarterbacks on the roster that are significant in being successful in this offense. But anyway, what are your thoughts? How do y'all feel about this transfer portal? I know y'all feel real great in regards to the commitments that we're receiving. William N. said it yesterday on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. He said there's more to come. I'm looking forward to it. I know y'all are too. But once again, I want to say thank you for everyone that has viewed this channel, that has subscribed to this channel. Thank you to my already subscribed folks out there that continue to support this channel. Man, hey, it would not be no me without you. Understand that. And as I always do at the end of any video, you know what it is. Anytime I talk about that power T behind me, the one beside me, and the one that's glowing, you already know what it is. Go Big Orange and go damn Vols.
Survive.